So hi everyone, welcome back to the Evolv-Electric YouTube channel. And this is another step in the process of getting the electric school bus bill passed in New York City Council. So they had the stated meeting also later today on October 7th. If you haven't seen my previous video, it shows the committee meeting hearing, which was needed in order to move the bill onto the full floor. So in this video, I've got snippets from the council meeting, stated meeting of the full city council. I try to cut it down as much as possible to just highlight things that dealt with this bill 455. However, I did keep a little part in talking about Costa Constantinedes, who was the former chair of the environmental committee, and he helped get this bill moved along. And a lot of people were very grateful to what he's done. We're very supportive of his new next chapter in his political career. So I hope you enjoy. I know it's kind of like watching C-SPAN, but this is how things happen. And then afterwards, I'll come back and let you know what happens next to get the bill fully passed and become law.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the stated meeting of October 7th, 2021. I am Majority Leader Lori Cumble, and I'd like to thank all of you for joining us today. If you would like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on our website.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. Welcome to today's stated meeting. Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Happy Thursday. I would like to remind all members that masks are required to be worn throughout the stated meeting, even while you are speaking. Today we're voting on 8 bills to help our city tackle its many challenges, including our climate crisis. We didn't need Hurricane Ida to remind us that our city is not prepared for climate change. Storm after storm has devastated our city and proven that our infrastructure is no match for extreme weather. The damage is only going to get worse, which is why our city needs to more aggressively plan for climate adaptation. That's why I'm so proud that we are today voting on a bill to create a citywide climate resiliency plan and another that requires all-electric, zero-emissions school buses. We're also voting to provide better pay and training to shelter security guards and to work with developers to make our train system more accessible to all. No one should ever doubt that this council's commitment to strengthening our city, each stated, is a testament to that commitment, and I'm proud of our record of doing the most good for the people who need it the most. Before we get into our agenda, I want to say we are really lucky to be graced today by our former colleague, Councilmember Costa Constantinedes. So we're so happy to have him here. This has been a difficult year and a half for many New Yorkers, many people who work at the City Council, and even many council members. And we know that Costa has experienced some deep loss over this past year, but we love him and we love his son Nico, and we're so happy to see him looking healthy, and we're so glad he's here today. He was and always will be an environmental champion, and many of the bills today he was deeply, intimately involved with. Some of the bills were his bills before he left the City Council, and so we're really, really glad that he's here today. Moving on to our legislative agenda. Next up is introduction number 455A, sponsored by Councilmember Danny Dromm and out of the Committee on Environmental Protection. Designed to reduce gas emissions, this bill will require that all school buses in use by September 1st, 2035 are all-electric, zero-emission school buses. The replacement of school buses shall be subject to the commercial availability and reliability of all-electric, zero-emission school buses and the technical and physical availability of related planned infrastructure, including but not limited to charging stations and bus depots for electric zero-emission school buses. The legislation will also require the Department of Education to report to the mayor and the speaker on a variety of implementation targets with three reporting deadlines: July 1st, 2023, July 1st, 2028, and July 1st, 2033. From the staff, I want to thank Samara Swanston, Nadia Johnson, Ricky Chawla, and Brad Reed. With that, Madam Majority Leader, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Speaker Corey Johnson. We will now move into discussion of general orders. We will begin with Council Members Cabrera, Gennaro, and Kalos. Councilmember Gennaro, would you like to speak at this time?
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. I just want to speak just very briefly about some of the great bills that are being done today. I'd like to thank in a very special way Danny Dromm, who has worked long and hard for many years on this bill to bring us to this good day. We've had school bus bills in the past that were passed and didn't go anywhere. In 2005, there was a bill passed that was supposed to transition the city from diesel to alternative fuels, and not one school bus ever got converted. But because of the work of Danny and the staff, we have the benchmarks that the speaker spoke about. This is a very, very solid bill and will lead to full implementation. I predict also there is the ability to retrofit existing buses for half the cost of what it would be to purchase a new one. Danny, I'm sure we'll talk more about that, but I'm very happy about that.
We'll now move into the report of special committees.
None.
Reports of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Environmental Protection, Intro 455A, electric school buses.
Amended and coupled on general orders. And at this time, I ask the clerk to take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Permission granted.
Dromm.
To explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you very much, Madam Majority Leader. I want to just say thank you to our Speaker for advancing the legislation on the electric school buses. This is a big deal for me. I was a New York City public school teacher for 25 years before I got elected to the council, and I sat on those school buses that spewed that fumes. I always, when I took a school trip, had to bring a barf bag with me because inevitably one student would throw up on the bus because of the fumes. So this is a big deal for New York City and for the students. As I said, want to thank the Speaker for moving this forward. I want to thank Council Member and Chair Gennaro as well for moving it forward. I also want to thank former Council Member Costa Constantinedes because he originally heard this bill in 2017. And so today is a great day for New York City and for those school children. And I just urge my colleagues to vote yes on this, as do I. I vote yes on all matters today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Eugene. Councilmember Eugene votes aye. Felice. Councilmember Felice votes aye. Gennaro. Councilmember Gennaro votes yes. Grodenchik.
Brief permission to explain my vote. Do I get a thank you for a short explanation? And to my friend Danny Dromm, I was on those buses too, Danny, but I wasn't smart enough to bring one of those bags. And Costa, it's always good to see you here. Thank you all, and with that, I vote aye on all.
Matteo.
Thank you. I vote no on 455, no on 2006, and aye on the rest.
Steve.
455.
All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by 45 in the affirmative, 0 negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of Intro 455A, which was adopted by a vote of 44 in the affirmative, 1 negative, and 0 abstentions. We'll now go into, at this time, the introduction and reading of bills.
All bills have been referred to committees as indicated on today's agenda.
Thank you. There are no resolutions on today's calendar, so we will move into general discussion.
Hi everyone, so welcome to the wrap up. I hope that wasn't too long, or probably most of you just skipped a lot of it and came straight to the wrap up, but that's fine. Thanks for watching anyway. So what's going to happen next after it's been voted on in the stated meeting? Well, now the bill goes to the mayor, and there are three kind of options as to what could happen. So the least likely option is that the mayor is going to veto the bill. It would be very unlikely for him to veto this bill because it basically codifies what he's stated in public and his executive order saying that school buses should be electric by 2035 in the city. So, but even if he did veto the bill, it would be pretty useless because they have more than 3/4 of the votes, with 44 votes passing this bill, and I believe they only needed 36 to be a supermajority, which could override a veto. So the mayor vetoing the bill would be pretty pointless. The second least likely option is that the mayor will have a hearing and then actually sign the bill into law. They have not been doing a lot of that, well, throughout the whole mayor's tenure, but definitely during COVID, there's not been a lot of public signings and hearings on bills that have been passed by city council. I'm sure the mayor knew that they were going to pass this bill and probably gave his approval. I'm sure the DOE made plenty of comments on the bill. It's unlikely that that he needs to do a public hearing or will make comments on the bill. So the most likely thing that's going to happen is we will have to wait 30 days from October 7th. So call it November 7th. The bill becomes actual law. It passes into law and then is no longer just a local law and will actually become part of the administrative code. Actually, 163.9 is the section that will be amended. And I'm going to do probably 1 or 2 breakdown videos, probably a comparison of the original bill that was introduced back in 2018, and then the bill that was passed by city council, and then I'll probably do a comparison of the previous 1639 and what it looks like after it's been amended. But it might be 2 videos, maybe 1, depending on how long those videos run. That's pretty much it. We're in the home stretch. It's going to be kind of anticlimactic when the bill just kind of becomes law after 30 days of being voted in by the stated meeting. That's it, but for the city's bill, but that's not it for me and electric school buses. The campaign is going to still go on. I'm going to meet with a lot of other groups that have been working in New York on electric school buses and this issue and are invested in this issue. And we're going to go to the state. The state has a bill for funding, which is just sitting in council, and nothing's going to happen to it between now and the end of the year, I can imagine. It's only got a few sponsors, but we're going to gear up and start the campaign next year to get funding passed so that these school buses will not only come to New York City, but all of New York State, as the state contributes a lot of funding towards school bus services for all the counties and cities throughout New York. So hope you'll join me for the ride on how that progresses. Thanks again for watching. Please subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, like and share to help our channel grow. And below you'll find links to our website, Evolv-Electric.org, our Twitter and Instagram